Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Webinar Series on Holistic Health, Well-being and Sustainable Development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2050 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः.
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations. Today, we are commemorating International Tea Day on May 21st every year. Now, when we are talking about tea, there are many people across the world who consume either tea or coffee. And for some, it is a casual drink. For some, it is an addiction. But today, we are also commemorating and celebrating the wonderful drink that is tea. Any food, for that matter, if taken in limited quantities, always aids in promoting health and well-being. So even that holds good for tea as well. But we will not talk much about the demerits of tea because today is a day where we are celebrating Tea Day. So let's focus on the other side of the bright side of the tea. So tea is a beverage made from Camellia sinensis plant. Tea is world's most consumed drink after water. It is believed that tea originated in Northeast India, North Myanmar, and Southwest China. But the exact place where the plant first grew is not known. It is believed to be in India. Tea has been with us for a long time, and there is evidence that tea was consumed in China 5,000 years ago. Tea production and processing constitutes a main source of livelihoods for millions of families in developing countries and in main means of subsistence for millions of poor families who live in a number of these developed countries. As you know, tea is grown in the hilly areas, ghat areas. So it is a livelihood for many millions of people who live in such areas. Most of these hilly areas, forest areas, ghat areas, where other types of food production or agriculture is not feasible. So tea production, the tea industry is a main source of income and export revenues for some of the poorest countries. And as labor-intensive sector provides jobs, especially in remote and economically disadvantaged areas. Tea can play a significant role in rural development, tribal development, poverty reduction, and food security in developing nations, being one of the most important cash crops. Tea consumption can bring health benefits and wellness due to beverages, anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and weight loss effects. It also has cultural significance in many societies. This year, International Tea Day highlights women and their role in the tea sector. It also is an opportunity to celebrate the cultural heritage, health benefits, and economic importance of tea while working to make its production sustainable from field to cup, ensuring its benefits for people, cultures, and environment continue for generations. International Tea Day, re-emphasizing the call for the intergovernmental group on tea to direct greater efforts towards expanding demand, particularly in tea-producing countries, where per capita consumption is relatively low, and supporting efforts to address the declining per capita consumption in traditional importing countries. The General Assembly decided to designate 21st May as International Tea Day. The day will promote and foster collective actions to implement activities in favor of the sustainable products and consumption of tea and raise awareness of its importance in fighting hunger and poverty. So, tea production and processing contributes to the reduction of extreme poverty, goal 1 SDG, the fight against hunger, SDG goal number 2, the empowerment of women, SDG goal number 5, and the sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, goal number 15. Moreover, there is an urgent need to raise public awareness of the importance of tea for rural development and sustainable livelihoods, and to improve the tea value chain, contribute to the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. Tea production is highly sensitive to changes in growing conditions. Tea can only be produced narrowly declined agroecological conditions, and hence in a very limited number of countries, many of which will be heavily impacted by climate change. Changes in temperature and rainfall patterns, with more floods and droughts, are already affecting yields, tea product quality, and prices, lowering incomes and threatening rural livelihoods. These climate changes are expected to intensify, calling for urgent adaptation measures. In parallel, there is a growing recognition of the need to contribute to climate change mitigation by reducing carbon emissions from tea production and processing. Therefore, tea producing countries should integrate climate change challenges both on the adoption and migration front into their national tea development strategies. Food is the core of sustainable development goals. The UN Development Agenda for the 21st century, the second of the UN 17 SDGs, is to end hunger, achieve food security, and improve nutrition, and promote sustainable agriculture. Achieving the goal by the target date of 2030 will require a profound change to the global food and agriculture system. Global tea consumption and production are projected to keep rising over the next decade, driven by robust demand in developing and emerging countries. This will create new rural income opportunities and improve food security in tea producing countries. According to the report, current market situation and medium tea outlook. Let's watch a short video. So today, we are also commemorating World Day for Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development, which is commemorated on 21st May every year. Since 2010, the International Fund for Cultural Diversity, in short known as IFCD, has funded more than 140 cultural and creative projects in over 69 developing countries. Protecting the diversity of cultural expressions is more important than ever. Held every year on 21st May, UNESCO leads the celebration of the World Day for Cultural Diversity for dialogue and development, highlighting not only the richness and the world cultures, but also the essential role of intercultural dialogue for achieving peace and sustainable development. With 89% of all current conflicts in the world occurring in countries with low intercultural dialogue to forge effective cooperation and sustainable peace, strengthening intercultural dialogue must be a priority. According to the UNESCO data, the cultural and creative sector is one of the most powerful engines of development worldwide. It accounts for more than 48 million jobs globally, almost half of which are held by women, representing 6.2% of all existing employment and 3.1% of global GDP. It is also the sector that employs and provides opportunities for the larger number of young people under the age of 30. However, the cultural and creative sector still does not have the place it deserves in public policies and international cooperation. In a bid to change this, in September 2022, delegations from 150 states gathered in the Mexico for Mondia Cult 2022, the largest world conference devoted to culture in the last 40 years. They unanimously adopted for the historic Declaration of Culture, affirming culture as a global public good and calling for it to be integrated as a specific goal in its own right in the developmental agenda beyond 2030. The text defines a set of cultural rights and need to be taken into account in public policies. These range from the social and economic rights of artists to artistic freedom, the right of indigenous communities to safeguard their ancestral knowledge, and the protection and promotion of cultural and natural heritage. It also calls for substantial regulation of the digital sector, notably of the major platforms for the benefit of online cultural diversity, artists' intellectual property rights, and fair access to content for all. With the adoption in September 2015 of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development by the United Nations and the Resolution on Culture and Sustainable Development adopted by the UN General Assembly in December 2015, the message of the World Day for Cultural Diversity for dialogue and development is more important than ever. The 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, can be achieved by drawing upon the creative potential of the world's diverse cultures and engaging in continuous dialogue to ensure that all the members of the society benefit from sustainable development. The UNESCO's Culture 2030 Indicators is a framework of thematic indicators whose purpose is to measure and monitor the progress of cultures, enabling contribution to the implementation of the SDGs. So, three-quarters of the world major conflicts have a cultural dimension. Bridging the gap between cultures is urgent and necessary for peace, stability, and development. Cultural diversity is a driving force of development, not only with expected to economic growth, but also as a means of leading a more fulfilling intellectual, emotional, moral, and spiritual life. This is captured in the cultural conventions, which provide a solid basis for promotion of cultural diversity. Cultural diversity is thus an asset, and this is indispensable for poverty reduction and the achievement of sustainable development. At the same time, acceptance and recognition of cultural diversity, in particular through innovative use of media and information and communication technologies, ICTs, are conducive to dialogue among civilizations and cultures, respect and mutual understanding. In 2001, UNESCO adopted the Universal Declaration on Cultural Diversity. Next, in December 2022, the UN General Assembly, in its Resolution 57 by 249, declared May 21st to be the World Day for Cultural Diversity for Dialogue and Development. And in 2015, the Second Committee of the UN General Assembly unanimously adopted the Resolution on Culture and Sustainable Development, affirming culture's contribution to the three dimensions of sustainable development, acknowledging further the natural and cultural diversity of the world, and recognizing that cultures and civilization can contribute to and are crucial enablers of the sustainable development. So the day provides us with an opportunity to deepen our understanding of the values of cultural diversity and to advance the four goals of UNESCO Convention on the protection and promotion of the diversity of cultural expressions, adopted on 20 October 2005, support sustainable systems of governance for culture, achieve a balanced flow of cultural goods and services, and increase mobility of artists and cultural professionals, integrate culture in sustainable development frameworks, promote human rights and fundamental freedoms. The ninth session of the Conference of Parties to the Convention on the Protection and Promotion of the Diversity of the Cultural Expressions will be held at UNESCO headquarters in the Paris from 6 to 8 2023 to examine the state of implementation of the convention worldwide and the major challenges facing cultural and creative sectors in the post-COVID-19 pandemic context. So, implementation of the UNESCO Culture 2030 indicators from 2021 to 2022. How can culture protect the government, environment, reduce inequalities, and promote decent work? So, when we look at the outcomes of the first phase of implementation of UNESCO Culture 2030 indicators in countries and cities from all regions of the world, we'll get an idea. When we look at the background of this commemoration of it World Day for Cultural Diversity, for Dialogue and Development. Intercultural dialogue, which is an equitable exchange and dialogue among civilizations, cultures, and people, based on mutual understanding and respect and the equal dignity of all cultures, is essentially prerequisite for constructing social cohesion, reconciliation among people, to peace among nations. This action is part of global framework of Alliance of Civilizations launched by the United Nations, more specifically with large framework of intercultural dialogue, which encompasses interreligious dialogue. Special focus is placed on the series of good practices to encourage cultural pluralism at the local, regional, and national level, as well as regional and sub-regional initiatives aimed at discouraging all expressions of extremism and fanatism and highlighting values and principles that bring people together. UNESCO Interreligious Dialogue Program, an essential component of intercultural dialogue, aims to promote dialogue among different religions, spiritual, and humanistic traditions in a world where conflicts are increasingly associated with religious belonging. It stresses the reciprocal interactions and influence between, on one hand, religious, spiritual, and humanistic traditions, and on the other hand, the need to promote understanding between them in order to challenge ignorance and prejudice and foster mutual respect. Learning the art of dialogue is both a personal and social process. Developing one's skills and capacity for dialogue implies a willingness to be open while retaining one's critical judgment. Dialogue consensus from all decision makers and leaders to individuals with each community, alongside relevant international conferences to raise awareness. UNESCO strives to promote grassroots activities, particularly in sensitive geostrategical areas that reach target populations such as women, youth, and marginalized populations. Culture and sustainable development, placing culture at the heart of the development policy, constitutes an essential investment in the world's future and a precondition to successful globalization process that takes into account the principles of cultural diversity. Development in inseparable from culture. In this regard, the major challenges is to convince political decision makers and local, national, and international social actors to the integrating principles of cultural diversity and the values of cultural pluralism into all public policies, mechanisms, and practices, particularly through public and private partnerships. The aim is, on one hand, to incorporate culture into all development policies, be they related to education, science, communication, health, environment, or cultural tourism, and on other hand, to support the development of the cultural sector through creative industries. By contributing in the way to poverty elevation, culture offers important benefits in terms of social cohesion. Culture is who we are and what shapes our identity, and no development can be sustained without including culture. Let's watch a short video.
Why invest in culture and creativity? The creative economy accounts for 3.1% of global GDP and over 6.2% of all employment, and it's one of the world's fastest growing industries. Culture and creativity are also an infinite source of joy, hope, and understanding for people across the world. But the global north accounts for 95% of the world's total exports of cultural services. Digital transformation, unequal market access, the limited mobility of artists, and restrictions on freedom of expression threaten our cultural diversity. The UNESCO International Fund for Cultural Diversity, the IFCD, invests in the cultural and creative industries to empower countries in the global south to overcome inequalities and enrich the entire world. Since 2010, the IFCD has invested more than $10.3 million in over 140 projects across the globe.
We're based in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania.
Trabajo en la Dirección General de Música de la Ciudad de Buenos Aires.
I speak from Phnom Penh, the capital city of Cambodia.
I am the project manager at the Music in Africa Foundation, headquartered in Johannesburg, South Africa.
The IFCD invests in people to upgrade their education and skills, helping them to adapt to the new digital environment.
The IFCD grant is supporting our project to build a web portal which will feature the best of East African dance artists. And the aim is to connect them to each other, but also to connect them to dance markets. We're giving young people new skills. We're opening up networking opportunities for them, job opportunities for them. Our platform offers really honest and up-to-date information and content around the African music sector through our online portal where artists can network amongst themselves.
Son projet de mise en réseau des institutions culturelles caribéennes qui va faciliter une émergence, une circulation de l'art caribéen, et spécialement mettre accent sur le travail familial en dans les Caraïbes.
36% of all IFCD projects have focused on youth. 27% of projects supported women's empowerment through education and training, and women's participation in outreach and activities reached over 67%. 40% of all IFCD projects were in Africa. The IFCD works to protect and promote cultural diversity by channeling support to local initiatives which have a global impact. It supports the design of inclusive policies for creativity, bringing creative voices to the forefront.
We wanted to make the government realizing that they can not only compete on the tourism sector post-pandemic. What makes the destination of Cambodia unique is its culture.
Este proyecto es de vital importancia porque reitera nuestro compromiso en visibilizar, posicionar y desarrollar a toda la cadena de valor de las industrias creativas y culturales. Esto como un eje transversal para el bienestar económico, social y cultural.
The IFCD fosters equality in the creative industries, empowering women, youth, and vulnerable groups.
So a choreographer is a position of power and a decision-making position in dance, and that's where we need more women to be. And the second major focus is building the confidence of East African women dancers because they're still very low in numbers in the East African region.
The IFCD drives lasting change.
There's a difference being made and people are really having access to information that they never had before.
Es no solo una herramienta muy importante de financiación, sino también una herramienta para eso, ¿no? Para facilitar el network, el intercambio de experiencias, el compartir capacidades, problemáticas y poder ir generando este conocimiento, esta red de redes, estas relaciones que ayudan a construir un nuevo paradigma respecto a la sostenibilidad de la cultura y de las diversidades culturales en todo el mundo.
The work of the IFCD is possible thanks to the support of parties to the 2005 Convention on the Protection and Promotion of the Diversity of Cultural Expressions, as well as generous contributions from the private sector and individuals who believe in the power of creativity. Together, we are fulfilling our mission to drive sustainable development through the cultural and creative industries. Culture and creativity are the heartbeat of our societies.
Today, Today is also commemorated as World Meditation Day on May 21st, celebrated every year. This day seeks to create awareness about meditation and its benefits, especially in our busy world of constant movement. Meditation itself is a practice that has been traced to ancient times, as far back as 3000 BC, when it was referred in ancient Indian text. It has roots in 3rd century China. The practice includes using techniques such as mindfulness or focusing on an object, thought, or activity to achieve an emotionally calm and stable state. Today, meditation has transcended past stereotypes and entered mainstream culture in the West. The practice of meditation traces its roots to around 5000 BC, where, however, some scholars profess that meditation may be as old as humanity itself, stating that even the Neanderthals might have meditative capacities. Derived from the Latin word meditatum, meditation refers to technique or a set of techniques that individuals use to attain the heightened sense of awareness and the focus of reaching a calm and stable state, mentally and emotionally. Meditation can be firmly traced back to 1500 BC, India, where old records reference practice of jhana or dhyana or dhyana or training of the mind. These records are said to originate from the Hindu tradition of Vedantism. Meditation also has roots in ancient China as far back as 3rd and 6th centuries, with the writings of Lozi, an ancient Chinese philosopher. He used several terms similar to meditation techniques used in later centuries in his works. Some of these terms include Shou Zong, meaning guarding the middle, and Bao Yi, which translates to embracing the one. Despite these connections to China and India, it is difficult to trace exact origin of meditation in China because it is practiced in multiple cultures and regions like Christianity, Islam, and Judaism. They have all influenced what meditation is today, adapting to every religion. Meditation didn't creep into Western culture until 20th century. In 1960s, Harvard medical professor Herbert Benson began to study the scientific aspect of meditation, finding that people who meditated used 70% less oxygen than others. In the 1990s, meditation began to be viewed as trendy in the United States, especially with celebrities joining the trend. Now about 9.3 million adults in the US use meditation annually. Indian records reference the practice of meditation and is documented since 1500 BC and beyond. The new meditation forms are developed in Taoist China and Buddhist India, and based on these adaptations emerged since 600 BC. The word meditate comes into use derived from the Latin word meditatum in 12th century, and meditation becomes the mainstream in the United States in 1990s. So many successful people believe in the power of meditation and practice it every day. New research shows that 20 minutes of guided meditation already makes a massive impact. Of experts also advise that the best time for meditation is first thing in the morning. Meditation has also been shown to help people sleep better as a relaxing techniques, help your mind switch off and bring calmness. So it is also good to meditate at night as well, along with morning. Practicing meditation is about finding the techniques that help you to achieve a calm and stable state. Therefore, if you prefer meditating with music and that enables you to achieve the sense of calm, you can and should meditate with music. So take some time out of your busy day to meditate, rest, listen to music, or enjoy the sounds of nature while bringing yourself to a calm state of mind. Declutter and dismiss. Remove things from your environment that take up space without adding value. Clean up your home and prioritize your activities, letting go of whatever is unimportant. Help create awareness about this unique and important day and share information and attend webinars, seminars, conferences like this, online and offline. This type of meditation focuses on cultivating feelings of loving kindness to people, even a person's enemies. During the process, body scan or progressive relaxation. A person is encouraged to scan their body for tension areas and release that tension. Mindfulness meditation is a type of meditation that allows to focus solely on the present instead of thinking about past or future occurrences. Breath awareness meditation is a type of meditation that allows people to focus on their breathing, counting their breaths while breathing in slowly and deeply. Transcendental meditation is a type of meditation spiritual in nature, encouraging practitioners to focus on rising above their current state of being. Meditation provides relaxation. It is a good idea to take a break from life's hustle and bustle. Meditation helps us to do just by helping us free our minds of worry and focus on the positives. Meditation eliminates stress, is well known for preventing and eliminating stress. When we are calm and tranquil, we also are better equipped to deal with stress in our day-to-day lives and environments. Meditation promotes a peaceful world. Imagine if everyone took a little time out of their day to meditate and cleanse their minds of negative thoughts. Don't you agree that the world would be a much more peaceful and united place? Today, there is also an event that is happening on the occasion of World Meditation Day. 1 million meditations final is also being organized on 21st May 2024, coinciding with the World Meditation Day. In Australia, to set a new record for the largest online group meditation in Australia, led by one of the Australia's leading wellness experts. Today is also commemorated as World Fish Migration Day on May 21st every year. It is celebrated alternative year. This event, it is a global celebration that creates awareness about the importance of migratory fish and free-flowing rivers. On this day, ornithological organizations all over the world coordinate their events around the common theme of connecting fish, rivers, and people. The day seeks to improve the public understanding of the importance of migratory fishing. It also encourages citizens to take action toward the protection of freshwater fish. Many varieties of fish migrate for reproduction, feeding, and life cycle completion. These creatures serve as a crucial link in the food chain and play a vital role in creating productive and healthier river systems. They are also central to the livelihoods of millions of people around the world. Migratory fish are ecologically, economically, culturally, as well as recreationally significant. However, many varieties are ecologically threatened or critically endangered today. That's why environmental conservationists created this day to make people aware of the importance of rivers and fish migration. Environmentalists aim for feasible solutions in the areas of fish migration, restoration, river recovery, and degradation prevention. If left unattended, these issues will further push migratory fish towards extinction. To achieve this goal, educating others and raising awareness and about the current situation is a good place to start. On World Fish Migration Day, experts and stakeholders discover and implement solutions to the challenge. Migratory fish swim over short or long distances at different intervals. They migrate up and down rivers, between rivers and oceans, and or across the oceans. The routes that follow are known as swimways and span thousands of miles through different water bodies. Dams are one of the biggest threats to swimways as they tend to cut off the migration routes, which prevents fish from reaching their feeding and breeding grounds. The World Fish Migration Foundation has currently undertaken a project to map fish migration routes and identify hotspots. This will lead to informed decision making to lessen the impact of infrastructure development on the migratory fish. The first World Fish Migration Day was held in 2014 with its events in over 40 countries. The celebration has since grown over the years to reach the millions of people through various media. A prehistoric bas relief carving of an Atlantic salmon is discovered in the French Abri du Poisson or fish rock shelter in a Paleolithic fish art around 2000, 23,000 BC. The General Court of Mashards Bay Colony bans the use of striped bass to fertilize crops, and fertilizer is banned in 1639. Construction of the Great Stone Dam on the Merrimack River, UK eliminates Atlantic salmon from the watershed and fish go extinct in between 1845 to 1848. So, resource managers in the UK begin building fish ways to allow fish to pass over dams and other obstructions. This also leads to the formation of the Division of Fisheries and Wildlife, restoring fish in 1866. Salmon, freshwater eels, sea trout, Alice shad, Mekong jade catfish, American paddlefish, and bull sharks are few examples of fish that migrate. Some key events include, which are celebrated on this occasion, are aquarium, museum exhibits, field trips, river cleanups, kayak trips, movie screenings, citizen science labs, global webinars like this, and many. This day is a chance to learn about the current local fish water policies and see if they advocate for free-flowing rivers. You can also watch some documentaries on migratory fish to expand your knowledge about these issues. A befitting way to mark this day is hosting a World Fish Migration Day event in your community to educate the public about the importance of migratory fish and free-flowing rivers. If that's not possible, check out there is a World Fish Migration Day event in your city like this. You can attend or simply offer to volunteer. Be more conscious of the products you use in the household that can harm waterways and fish. If possible, switch to environment-friendly products. Also learn where your electricity comes from and try to opt for renewable energy sources. Diadromous fish, sea run fish are called diadromous because they live part of their lives in salt water and part in fresh water. A fish without bones, just like sharks, Atlantic sturgeon are cartilaginous too. Their skeleton consists mostly of cartilage, but not bones. Atlantic sturgeon can live up to 6 decades in Canada, but only up to 3 in the southeast, and with different lifespans in different regions. The striped bass, also known as the Maryland state fish, the Atlantic striped bass, striper, line-sided, rock or rockfish, is Maryland state fish. Rainbow smelt fish don't freeze due to proteins and glycerol in their blood, liver, muscle, and other tissues, which prevent freezing up in temperatures as low as 28 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a freeze-proof fish. Sometimes conservation feels like an unattainable goal. However, raising awareness is an essential first step towards the real change. There are so many interesting things about migratory fish that we get to learn on this day, from the types of migratory fish to how they navigate long distances in the water. There is no dearth of mind-blowing facts to learn. Family-friendly holidays provides a good opportunity to bond with the loved ones. It is an excellent opportunity to get together and contribute to the greater good of the planet. Today is also commemorated as Eat More Fruits and Vegetables Day, US. This is a perfect time for the availability of all our favorite fresh fruits and vegetables. We believe including fresh fruits and veggies in the diet is necessary for a healthy lifestyle. Even the ICMR guidelines and NIN guidelines recently issued for Indians also focuses on consuming more fresh fruits and vegetables. So Eat More Fruits and Vegetable Day is dedicated to a cause. The increase in obesity and lifestyle diseases and disorders among American people and also across the world is a major concern nowadays. This is a day to remind us of the importance of fresh food, which helps us to lead a healthy life. Ever wonder who started the cultivation and farming of vegetables and fruits? We only have a vague idea about the start of cultivation. We know we use forage for nuts and fruits as back as 1 lakh years ago. During that time, our ancestors observed that seeds they threw away created new plants. The understanding that we would manipulate plant growth was perhaps one of the greatest discoveries of the ancient world. Most scientists agree that proper cultivation started around 30,000 years ago. Initially, farming was a concept associated with grains and cereals. However, the practice soon expanded to include fruits and vegetables as well. Fruits and vegetables are good sources of necessary vitamins and minerals. There are records of Romans using greenhouses to cultivate vegetables and fruits. The vegetables and fruits available nowadays are different from their ancient counterparts. Selective breeding for nutrition and edible quantity change the shape, color, and even the taste for the better. But today the trend has changed as well. We all opt for the fast food. This decision contributes to the obesity crisis and formation of deadly lifestyle diseases and disorders. The growing number of people affected by unhealthy eating caused the Dole Food Company to take action. They created this day to educate the world about healthy eating and spread awareness about conditions such as obesity. A diet rich in fruits and vegetables can supplement essential vitamins, minerals, and dietary fibers. It can help reduce health conditions like diabetes, obesity, heart attack, and stroke. It can also help reduce blood pressure, cholesterol levels, and digestive issues, even prevent some forms of cancer. It depends on each person and their health conditions and body weight, but generally speaking, around 15 ounces per day is good. Fresh fruits and vegetables are costlier compared to regular crops. High prices are due to the necessity of manual labor and the need for customized equipment for cultivation. But the reduction in healthcare justifies the higher prices. Instead of paying for diseases and disorders, it's much more appropriate to pay much more less to the fresh fruits and vegetables. Source your fresh fruits and veggies, which is an easy part. Just pack a bag and start shopping for fresh veggies and fruits with your local farmers and local produce. Make sure you to buy your veggies from a fresher source. It's best to buy from an organic source. This can help ensure that food is free of harmful chemicals or pesticides. People often do not realize the choices available for fruit and vegetable recipes. There are countless vegetables, dishes, and smoothies available to try. Celebrate by exploring the tasty cousins available rather than going for the fast food. Get your friends and family, share them same enthusiasm for fresh food. You know what to do then. You have already purchased fruits and vegetables. So we know the recipes too. So shut those knives and start cutting some veggies for the party and invite people for a salad party on this day. Consuming fruits and vegetables in place of meat can increase one's life expectancy by a few years and can increase your lifespan. A fruit and vegetable diet is rich source of essential vitamins and minerals. China leads the world in fruit and vegetable production and consumption. Fruits and vegetables can be consumed in any form, fresh, canned, dried, frozen, and juice, which is versatile as we can. Fruits are sweet with fructose and they do not pose the risk of extra sugar into our bloodstream, and fruits are delicious. So it can reduce the risk of various diseases, which is not a secret, but a non-vegetarian diet can cause numerous health issues. Diabetes, heart attack, stroke, obesity, etc. are all companions of meat consumption. So reduce the meat consumption. Adding more vegetables and fruits can help reduce these health conditions before they manifest and impact your health and well-being. Vegetables and fruits are cruelty-free. There is a long battle raging between the vegetarians and non-vegetarians. A vegetarian diet is relatively less cruel as no killing or maiming is involved. A major argument that the plants are also alive, but plants are not sentient like animals and do not feel the same kind of pain. So it is relatively cruelty-free diet. Most production negatively affects our environment and it can reduce our carbon footprint through consumption of alternative food products like fruit and vegetable instead of meat production and consumption. It is a demanding process, especially with meat products, and needs a lot of water and food. The byproducts can add to the greenhouse gas emissions and thus to global warming. So the same amount of investment in cultivation can yield better output and reduce carbon emission by shifting our diet from meat consumption to non-meat consumption. that is to fruits and vegetables. So with this, we shall end the commemorations of the day. So we thank each and everyone for joining us on this wonderful occasion. Today we are celebrating, commemorating and cultural diversity. Tomorrow we are celebrating the biodiversity. So which is related to environment, nature and planet. So kindly join us tomorrow also. The link for tomorrow's event, the registration link has been shared in the chat box. Kindly register for tomorrow's event and we request you to share with your friends as well and be part of this plan. So we request everyone before leaving to quickly fill up the feedback form which has been raised in the form of polls. Feedback form has been raised. The form of polls, we request everyone to quickly fill the feedback form before leaving the platform. And yesterday's international seminar feedback link has been shared through email to all the participants who have registered for the event. So we request all the participants, those who have attended yesterday's event, international seminar, to quickly check your emails or check the website and fill the feedback form immediately, as you are supposed to fill the feedback form within 24 hours of issuing the feedback form link on the website. So we request, as it's almost 24 hours, we request everyone to quickly complete today itself the feedback form for yesterday's international seminar, so that you will be getting certificates by tomorrow. So the more you delay the feedback form and formalities, the more the certificates will also get delayed. So it's not just one person filling up and one person getting. All certificates are issued at once. So we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form. After this, today's commemorations, after you fill this today's feedback form, and also register for tomorrow's event and participate in large numbers and make it a grand success. The feedback form, the registration form for tomorrow's international seminar has been circulated in social media as well as on the website and also shared in the chat box. Those who have filled the feedback form in Zoom can also register for tomorrow's event. The link has been shared in chat box. So every day the joining link will be the same for the Zoom, for all the events on this platform. So see you all tomorrow at 6 o'clock with the same joining link for the international seminar. Every day programs are happening online and offline. We request everyone to actively take part in this conference. And seminars, webinars, symposiums, workshops, awareness programs being conducted on this platform. I will also quickly show So this is yesterday's international seminar. Here the feedback form has been updated and it is also sent to all the registered participants in your email yesterday itself, yesterday evening. That is yesterday night after the international seminar. The feedback link has been shared and it is also available on the website. So we request everyone, those who have attended yesterday, to fill the feedback form, and those who have not registered but attended, also kindly register and also fill the feedback form, which is available on the website. And you can download your certificates from here. The link will be updated. If by today night after this, if everyone, those who have attended, if you complete the formalities, the filling of registration form and feedback form, we can generate certificates in next 2 working days. Also attend tomorrow's event, which is here. The registration form is also shared in the chat box. And you can also visit our website and register here. The registration form is also updated on the website. And feedback form will be circulated tomorrow. And you also need to fill the registration form and feedback form in the Zoom, because these forms are accessible from elsewhere. Only participants, those who are attending the meeting, can only access the Zoom registration form and feedback form. So that's why it's also important to fill registration form and feedback form in Zoom platform. So you can register this for this event to get your registration completed. So you can access it from our main home page. You can see details here. This is yesterday's, and this is going to be tomorrow's. And we are part of the official celebrations of World Biodiversity Day, that is International Day for Biological Diversity. Thank you, everyone. Before leaving, we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form in Zoom platform. If you have any queries, suggestions, feel free to share in the chat box. Or while you are filling up the feedback form, if you have any queries, you can share feedback, suggestions. We'll be waiting for another 5 minutes for the rest of the participants to quickly fill up the feedback form, and then we'll be closing the session.